Okay, folks, so now we get to meet Darien Todd. He is from Ellenwood, Georgia, and he's going to introduce himself and tell us about his project. And this is our last youth ambassador for the night, and then we'll have some time for questions and answers. Thank you. Go, Darien.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Katie, for that. So again, everyone, hello, I am Darien Todd. I am a 24-year-old man. I live in Ellenwood, Georgia. And I am wearing a blue shirt and black and red glasses, and I have a short haircut. I am a community advocate specialist at the Center for Leadership and Disability at Georgia State University. I am happy to be here with you guys today.
Well, my work at the Center for Leadership and Disability, so the title is Community Advocate Specialist. I go in the community and I advocate about IPSE and inclusive post-secondary education. With that, I just go about and talk about programs that are in Georgia that has IPSE programs. And I also just like to advocate for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Start off to say, so people that do have guardianship, everybody's story is different. Everybody's reason of having guardianship is probably different from the other person's reason of why they have guardianship. But what I think is, I don't really think that people with intellectual and developmental disabilities shouldn't have guardianship, because that's one person having control over their lives, and that one person makes that decision for that person, and that one person that have guardianship doesn't really have a choice in say how they live their life. But like I said before, everybody's story is different of why they have guardianship. But I really like to say, like, with guardianship, you should really look into alternatives to it.
So hello again, everyone. So in front of you, you will see a slide that has a bunch of other slides of my project, what is based on supported decision making. So the reason why I wanted to create this presentation is to get the word out about supported decision making and let people know that you have other ways to make sure that your student has a valid life and helping them make decisions instead of having someone else make the decisions for you. You might see graphics in the presentation that you see before you. Those are all done by Gabby Melnick. She's amazing. And on the second row, that is a reference of a supportive decision-making agreement. So those are just something that someone will look back at to let people know, like, this is who I chose to help me make this decision. Not everyone goes through an agreement. People just do it naturally throughout their lives. But the agreement is just there to look back at, to give you that remembrance of who you had to help you make that certain decision. The things that I did with my project is I did a presentation on Community Strong talking about supportive decision making and alternative guardianship, and why people with intellectual and developmental disabilities should make their own decisions, and why it's very important to bring people from their community in their space to help them make those certain decisions instead of having one person over their life. Another thing that I also did with my project was I did an interview on Real Talk with Rita on her YouTube page. She was interviewing me about supportive decision making, and that platform really has parents that has people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So she has a really huge platform of parent advocates and parents that are looking for advice to help their certain child have a successful life. I also think another thing that I did with my project, as well as doing all the other things that I've mentioned, was I also had Dana, that's also on this call, come to my class when I taught my self-advocacy class at Georgia State and teach them about supportive decision making as well. So that's a few things that I've done with my project to get the word out about supportive decision making. So here I was at the a week retreat with the people that are in Georgia, doing the same project that you just heard from. We all came together to talk about supportive decision making and why it's so important that we look into alternatives to guardianship. I also did a within this, so in front of you, you see a pamphlet that's talking about I Decide guide. That is just a reference of a supportive decision making agreement. And like I always say, everybody's agreement is going to look different, varies from the person. Not everybody's going to put the same things on their agreement, so everyone's going to look different. Another thing that I like to say, like, this retreat was really impactful for me because I got to meet my people in Georgia that are all doing the same projects, but they were all talking about them totally different. I really enjoyed being a part of this team because it also taught me about supportive decision making and all that good stuff. And there was another part of the project that I did was I did another interview with Alicia's YouTube page when she was asking us about why supportive decision making was important and how does it feel for people to make their own decisions and who do they bring into their families, who do they bring in their circles to help them make decisions. So those are all people from those different people from different states of Georgia coming on that call and telling them why supportive decision making was important.